Well, all righty, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're watching later on YouTube, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button. We've got one of my all time favorite YouTubers, somebody that is very dear to me. And I just relate so well to him. And it's just, we haven't had a chance to catch up for a while. And I wanted to get back with you and talk with you. So, Dave, how you doing, buddy? It's so good to talk with you again.
Yeah, good to be back here on the channel. I think it's been a while since we've chatted. We did a chat. What about Thanksgiving Eve? I think it was. We did a chat.
Yeah, over on your
Yeah,
channel, we got
yeah.
another about an hour or so in together, and that was some great time. We got a lot. I mean, there is so much to talk about.
Oh yeah.
There is just so many great things going on now in our sports community and with projects people are doing. And I know, I come into your live streams all the time and I listen to you, and you got such great topics. And I'm like, that I need to find out more information. I want to ask you, I want to talk to you. So I'm like, I got to have this guy on because I need to ask him these questions. So, well, first of all, how are you doing? Everything okay with you? And I don't know if you want to get into anything or not, but how you been personally and
Well, I had some health issues come up after the summer was over, and today I had like two appointments this week, and one of them was the heart doctor, and he says if you're feeling okay, then let's not go ahead and do another surgery. And so I took that as good news, you know what I mean? Though I want to fix the problem, in the long term, but he's just like, look, we don't want to make it worse, and there's no sense having an invasive surgery or whatever it's called, invasive surgery.
mm,
He says, "Do you feel okay?" I says, "I feel okay." He's like, and I played 3 hours of hockey last night, and so
eh,
he's like, "Well, you wouldn't be playing 3 hours of hockey if you didn't feel well." I was like,
right, right.
"Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah."
you look great. I mean, you
So
look
like, thanks.
great. You really. I think I commented a couple months ago and everything. You just you look really good. So
Thanks,
that part
appreciate
of it
that.
looks as good. So I know, getting that, just knowing that makes you feel better inside when somebody says, "Oh, you look good." I take that
Yeah,
as like a personal like thank you.
yeah. Last month when I went to the primary and she found two problems, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, really?" So and I was crushed. Like I did, it's like you get older, you're gonna have things happen, but like, man, could it be one at a time instead of two at once? Two pretty serious things I had to deal with.
Right,
So now
right.
here is a month later, and I've got the appointments out of the way. We got plans of action, medicine we're gonna do and the whole bit. So um, I mean, I think every time I talk to the doctor, I was like, look, you're on the right path. Whereas
Yeah.
before I wasn't on a path. Now I'm on the right path. So I
Uh,
consider that a good thing, you
yeah,
know.
for sure.
And
For sure.
I find that it's you got to have some peace of mind with some of this stuff because there's some things you just can't control. And so for me, um, I've been, printing cards and cutting cards, playing some new games. I love sitting here and putting on somebody on YouTube while they play a game while I do my projects here. And it's stuff like that really calms you down. And,
Yeah.
you'd focus on something fun,
Right.
rather than sitting there the whole time
Worried
going,
about
oh my gosh,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
my heart going to explode here? What's going on? Oh my gosh, I'm feeling something. You know what I mean? Things like that. You can't do that. You have to just settle down. And that's the big thing, especially with a heart problem. You can't get worked up.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so I try
Absolutely.
not to.
Oh, we got a couple of visitors. Phoenix Knight here, probably when talking with your primary. Yeah, you don't want to hear bad things from them. That's for sure. That is for sure. And Eric, how you doing? Good to see everyone tonight. So yeah, Phoenix Knight. How about Phoenix? Have you been to his channel? He's starting to get into some sports games
Yeah,
now,
I did. I
Dave.
did. What was he playing? He's playing a couple different games I saw. Was it
Yeah,
hockey? Was it
he's
Apple or
playing the
hockey
Apple
phone?
hockey. He's played the
Apple
Apple
hockey it was. Yeah,
hockey,
I was watching him and
and like he's done a few boxing games and stuff, but he
mhm.
jumps in with like his first game, and I didn't want to scare him, but I kind of talked you know to him ahead of time, and I said just so you know, I know you're new to sports, hockey, basketball, football, they're going to take you a little while, so don't go
Yeah.
in thinking it's going to be a quick game. And I was so shocked. First of all, he did a great job, but second of all, he loved it. He absolutely
Really?
loved playing it. Oh my god, he's talked about it. We've emailed back and forth. I think it's going to be a regular on his channel, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Nice.
yeah, this
I
is
have been getting so many emails from people for the Apple Hockey Helper on Excel, and even today I sent out 2 or 3 more to people. Because
nice."
people are playing Apple Hockey, and that thing really it helps with the line changes, with the timing. It has your rolls for you, so it helps. It just makes things go. Like any helper, the idea of the helper is to
Mhm.
make everything quicker, faster, better, easier, and that's what this does, I believe, for Apple. And I got one for Hockey Bones, and they're both really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, and he started playing Payoff Pinch too. I think he watched me and yourself playing Payoff Pinch and a few other people. He ordered a couple seasons. He's done unboxings of it. I
Hmm.
mean, when I met Phoenix Knight like about a year ago, I think we met. We both myself and him were a subscriber on a different channel, and we kind of hooked up. And I found out he was a YouTuber. He found out I was a YouTuber, so we kind of were watching a few things, and I started suggesting a few things to him. He started suggesting a few things to me, and before you know it, he's playing war games now. He's playing sports games. He's really embraced it, and I thought, wow, this is great. And I'm hoping the sports game community people will flock over to his channel, give him some love on his videos, and
Yeah,
let him
I've
know
been
what a
watching
great
some of his
job he's
sports
doing.
stuff. It's been pretty good. The sports stuff's been very good. But he's done some things before. So going into sports, it's not like a huge jump like he's just starting out. It's a different game. So he's got a little bit
Yeah,
of a leg up.
yeah, RJL, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to
Hmm.
see you. And it's we talked about this several times through the years. Dave, we've known each other for probably 6 or 7 years by
I
now,
would
haven't
think
we?
so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked through the years how, I mean, even RJL, he's doing war games on his
Hmm.
channel now. He just did an unboxing of all um the
Was it? Well, what? Yeah, it
um
was.
Axis and Allies,
Yes, X's and
uh
Allies. Yeah.
and all the different versions that he just picked up. And he did yeah, it's great. I think I've been known, and I tell everyone that I'm a what I call a crossover gamer. I play everything, right? I
Hmm.
play sports games, I play war games, I play regular board games, and I just play whenever I want to play. And I go through these moods. Now you're mostly a sports gamer, but you've done other things on your channel. I remember coming to watch you play puzzles. Remember puzzles?
Yeah, there's a puzzle program on Steam, and you just move the pieces around and make it.
Yeah.
I still got. I ordered them. They had some expansion packs on sale on Black Friday, so I picked up a few, and
You go.
they're just they're relaxing. Like, I'll just sit here and have like the radio on. I'll listen to like a football game or a hockey game, and I'll just be doing a puzzle, and it's just so relaxing. It really is, and so yeah, there's stuff like that. I did a little bit of wargaming on Steam, and I got one kind of a quick play war game that I play on the tabletop. I also play what's that space game? Deep Space Six or Deep Six Space. It's a it's a tiny little game. It's no bigger than this piece of paper here. That's
Mm,
your ship, okay?
okay,
And what
yeah.
you do is you roll the dice, and
And
then
you're putting the dice in the different quadrants and stuff?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And so
yeah.
then you flip the enemy card, and it'll say like, okay, if the enemy rolls a 1 or a 2, then you take 1 damage, or there's going to be a fire on board, and then you need to have an engineer put out the fire and things like that. So it's a
Mhm.
dice management game. I think it's Deep Six
Yeah,
Deep
I
Star Six.
got the title right in my head. I know it's
But
exactly
it's a
what you're
little
talking
game. It's
about.
just it's in a
Yeah,
box this big,
right,
and there's two
right.
sides of the board. So there's an advanced side and an easy side, and it's really fun. It's hard to win. So I usually take the enemy cards and cut them in half. So instead of 20, I take 10, and it's
Right.
fun. And I think there's an app on my phone I got that plays that game. It's kind of
Ah,
neat. But it's a
nice,
dice management game.
nice.
Those are kind of fun. You roll the dice. Okay, what am I going to do here? Where am I going to put this guy? What fire do
Yeah,
I put out?
little dice management game. Yeah,
Yeah.
dice placement. You also done oh, what the heck is the dungeon crawl one? Oh, what the heck is it called? The
Oh, a
dun the
Diablo?
dun no,
Diablo?
no, the little dungeon game. You got a character. and you flip up the card and you're rolling the dice and you got to like match the colors of the dice on the different.
Oh,
I'm trying
yeah.
to
What
remember the name of it. I've got it right here on my
that
somewhere.
I quit playing that because it's so hard. Oh, what is the
Shoot,
name of
what is
that
the name
game?
of that thing? What
I
the
think
heck? I can't remember the name of it.
I think I have it on my phone and my iPad and on Steam.
Yeah, yeah.
Epic as Epic something? No, not Tiny Epic
No, it's
Dungeons.
not
Not
Tiny
that.
Epic Dungeon. No, no.
Oh, yeah, I know
I'll
what you're
think
saying.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you played a bunch of that, and you got me playing it after I saw you play it. It was fun. It's very addictive watching someone play some of these games.
I'll see if I can get the name of that real quick here. But yeah, it's one of these things where so you flip the card and then you have the enemy they got to fight and you
Yeah,
roll the dice and then you
yeah.
start putting the dice on the enemy card to kind of defeat him.
Right,
It just
right.
got so difficult to win that I was so
Yes,
frustrated. People's like, well,
yes,
you do build up your character to act. So when you're done playing, you actually add skill points and you can add more
yeah.
dice to your roll. So it's almost like an RPG element to it. I just found it to be so ridiculously hard to win that I got
Hard and
so
frustrating. Yeah,
frustrated with it. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find the name of it right now. But I
I know.
stopped playing that. I stopped playing that a while ago just because I was tired of it. I'm like, I'm tired of losing. And I was
Mhm.
on one of the forums on Facebook, and I was just like, I love this game, but it's so frustrating. I quit playing because it's so hard. And a one deck dungeon,
One deck dungeon. There you
one deck
go.
dungeon.
Yes,
That's what it's
sir.
called.
Yep.
And it's a compact game. It comes with all these dice, and it's a super fun game. But you get into the battles, and your guy's just about dead, and you roll all these dice, and a one comes up, and a one doesn't do anything half the time.
Right,
And so
right.
you might as well just throw it
You need a
away,
you
and
need
then
a certain number.
and
Yeah.
then you and then you die, and it's just like, well, here I am dead again.
Funny thing that Jester was the first person to promote my channel when I started doing these crazy stuff. I am, and I told Phoenix Knight the same thing. I'm always looking to promote everyone's channels out there. I think we have a niche community. We have a niche hobby. It's not like we're going to get millions and millions of views. So if I can help anyone out there get a couple views, I'm more than happy to do whatever I can to announce, send people over, let people know about your channel, do all that stuff because it took me 8 years before I got 1,000 people on my channel. It took me
Hmm.
8 years. Now I've got a few more than that, but it takes a long time. But people don't realize how much effort goes in. I just got my little 2023 YouTube like little sheet they send you at the end of the year.
Yep.
How many new subscribers, how many views you've had, I had over 586 videos this year.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I have almost 2 videos a year or 2 videos a day
Hmm.
on average.
Yeah.
So, I love doing it. I can't help it. I know you do too. I know you do too. I love watching what you do, and I will come and watch you just talk with people. Now you just had somebody on the other day, a lady that you had on that did a book review. There you go, Between the Pipes.
Yep. This is the old book. This is the paper. This came first. The hardcover is called Behind the Mask. And that's the one that's coming in later. And I guess I sent her an email and I told her, it says, people are responding to the interview that they liked it. And so you'll be selling at least some books from our show. And she goes, I sold out on Amazon Canada.
Nice,
Yeah.
beautiful,
So she's like,
beautiful.
people won't get them for Christmas now because they're sold out on Amazon Canada. So good for her. I mean, she was a
Yeah,
blast. She's like, she wants to
totally.
come back on and talk hockey. So maybe playoff time, we'll have a hockey show, have her on. She knows her stuff. She's up there in Toronto, right in the heart of hockey. And it was a fun chat. It just, she was so relaxed and so good and so knowledgeable. It made it fun.
That's these are the best. These are the best people to get on. Just the people that are just so interesting and just so personable. I host a weekly war game show,
Hmm.
and we've had on some people that will never come back on the show, never be invited again, just because they're so boring. All they want to do is talk about themselves. They don't bring any excitement to the interview. There's a lot of just dead things. And then there's people that I love to have on the show because they're interesting. They talk about interesting things. They have good points, just like,
Yeah.
when the two of us sit here and talk,
Yeah. Well, it's
it's,
just we had that. No, she's an author, and we just talked hockey, and we talked about the book, but we started just to talk hockey, and it was such a good time. And I learned some things from her that I didn't know about some of these people. We got some backstories, why she wrote the book and the people she talked to, and it was something else. And we had that too when we had J. Thomas Hetrick on. Okay,
mm-hmm.
this is the Cleveland Spiders book.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think we did 2 or 2.5 hours with him just talking baseball from like dead ball era. And he just knows his stuff. And, we just talked all night about baseball. I mean, it went from talking about his book to just tell us about like baseball back then in general. And he went off, and there's things that were fantastic. I didn't know that. And, people in the chat room were asking questions. And it was just, you got somebody that's so knowledgeable
Mm-hmm.
and they can just
Mm-hmm.
tell story after story. It's like, oh man,
Right.
that was fun.
And don't you, you kind of remind me a lot of me because I do my weekly war game show, and I sit down and I talk with different designers, and I feel kind of fortunate that I'm in a position where I have enough of a following that people want to come talk to me about these things and share it. It's like
Mm.
I'm just some dude on the internet, and somebody's willing to come talk to me because I've got enough people that watch my show that they're going to follow, and they'll get enough interest in it. So I feel fortunate. Like Herman Lutman and Mike Butterjelly, and I mean, the list goes on and on. Mitch Land. I mean, there's like 10 or 15 game designers now that I'm personal friends with because I have an
Yeah.
internet show. So don't
Yeah.
you feel
Well,
kind of the same way?
kind of sort of. 'Cause I have the internet channel here on YouTube, and then we have the podcast, and we specifically talk sports simulation. So if you're a sports simulation designer or even a player, anybody in that realm, I mean, this is where the place to go. Our audience is that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we have this. We're not ESPN, and 99% of the people that are going to listen have no idea what this is and don't care. Our audience, I would say just about everybody that listens to the show or the podcast or the channel is some kind of a sports sim person for the most part. If not, then they're interested in it or in some way or form. And
That's
and so I think with that, so they want to come on because we have a good and like yourself, and our Red Sox fan, we have people who are into this, so that's where you want to go.
yeah.
If
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing a hockey show, I'm not going to do it on a baseball channel. I'm
Right.
gonna find hockey channels.
Right.
Now, again, we don't have thousands and thousands and thousands of people here, but we'll get a couple of thousand. But again, the target, those people are what you're targeting here. The sports
Right.
gamers is what it is. So,
Right.
and speaking of the devil, Al Red Sox fan dropping by. Hi, Al Red Sox
Nice
fan.
little part of the hobby. We'll do something better. Yep. I agree. Yeah. Phoenix Knight is not boring. He talks himself down. He did. Go check out his channel. He did a great job. I love the fact that he's doing APA hockey and loved it. That was awesome. Bernard, I watched a year ago. Once in a while, he'd get on YouTube. Now is my first choice for video entertainment. A lot of great broadcasts all the day and night. Thanks to you guys. Thank you, Bernard and Al. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by, Al. Yeah, and I agree with Bernard. I mean, a lot of times I'll try to go live and I'll be like, oh, so and so just went live. Let me go check on see what they're doing because I don't like to
Yeah,
jump on top of somebody else. It's hard to get scheduled, like, oh, hey, I'm gonna do this at 8 o'clock, so nobody else do your thing,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard
I'm
to
the
do
same way
that.
because sometimes I'll look and it's like, oh, somebody's on, but sometimes with myself because I'll work nights and weekends that it's like, okay, I have a hour and a half to do this. I can't wait. If I
Yeah.
wait, then I got to
Mhm.
go to work. So I either do it now or I maybe wait till I get home. And sometimes I'm too tired from that. So for me, it's just, I don't purposely. go against anybody, but I mean, if I have the chance, and especially if I take time to set it all up, I'm going on.
Right.
It's just
Right. Yeah.
sorry. I've
Sometimes you
spent a
just
half
have to
hour
jump
setting this
on
up and
and
just
just
go
do
and
it when you got to do it. And people, I think our community is very understanding.
yeah.
I've had several where I've had Al Red Sox fan on one channel, and I've also had RJL on because they were both on at the same time, and I wanted to
Oh
see
yeah,
what
and you
both
ping
of them
pong
are
back and
doing.
forth. Yeah, I've done
Yeah,
that. I've done that too. You go on. Oh, there's a few people on. Then I say I watch some of this, and I go into some of that, and the whole bit. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so what
You
do
want
you
to talk
been?
Strat Max? Want to talk Strat Max?
You want to talk? Let's talk Strap Max. So
Okay.
let's talk. I said my piece. Um, I know you watched the video because you commented on it, and I've watched your video. I think I, it's interesting. The more I get used to the idea, and maybe you can comment on this, the more I get used to the idea, the more it now is it's okay with me now. It's like the longer, I mean, in the beginning it was like this big new thing, and now it's like, no, it's not really a big new thing. It's just kind of another thing now. So I
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
got over that hump.
once people realize that it wasn't Strat and they get that out of their system, like this is not Strat and you can't roll the dice and see the cards. Once they realize it wasn't Strat, it was based on Strat, but it wasn't Strat. I think the anger subsided a little bit. For myself, it does everything it said it would do. Okay. And so for me, I have it on my phone. Like I said, I'm at the doctor's office, and that's when I thought I'd be playing it. And I did. And I've been, I'll go to bed and I'll play it while listening to YouTube or something like that. And it does everything it said it's going to do. So kudos to that. Now, it does have some hiccups. I mean, I still have not been able to start a 1995 season. I don't know why, but I've started
Hmm.
3 or 4 seasons, but 1995 it just keeps giving me error messages, at least on the phone. But
Okay.
I'm playing the Spiders and Roger Clemens on the Red Sox. I'm playing a game of that for fun. And I've started 78 and 86, and I'm playing some Red Sox games. And it does everything you want it to do. Everything's there on the screen. You're playing baseball. You can set your strategy. I mean, it, it it's good. As far
Yeah.
as gameplay goes, it's really good. My thing, just me personally, I've come to terms that I I'm not a big mobile gamer.
Hmm.
Okay. And if I was, this game would be fantastic. I play mobile games, like I say, in the doctor's office while I'm waiting to be seen, at the rink in between periods. And what I usually do, because I usually only have 10 or 15 minutes, is I'll play a game of cribbage or something like that.
Hmm.
And then it's like, oh, Dave, you're next. So I go in. So the baseball games, they take, 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes to play some of these games, depending on what happens in the game. And so I just found that it was flawless between devices. Let me tell you, I would start a game on my phone and I'd sign off. I pick up my iPad, pick up the game right where I left off,
Hmm.
and then I pick up my other backup iPhones, which I listen to music with at night, and play it on that. And it was seamless. No matter where I went, it picked up the game. It's as advertised. It's good.
Hmm. Hmm.
I just find that it just takes too long to play for me to be holding my phone that long. I'm
Yeah.
not a mobile gamer. Like I say, I get like cribbage. I can play a game in 3 minutes. There's a couple other little games I play. I don't play anything long on my phone. That's just not me. I would rather sit here and do it on the tabletop or something
I
like
think
that.
that's such an interesting because my YouTube channel started with me playing computer games. That's what I started doing was playing computer games. And that's I would play computer games 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And that's how my YouTube channel started. But now I literally I can't I just even when I go to play a computer game, if I'm on for more than 20 minutes, I don't find it as enjoyable as I used to. Maybe it's now because I'm 20 years older than I was, but I want to have something in my hands. I want to have the dice or the cards or something in my hands. I just looking on the screen just doesn't satisfy me.
It does from time to time. Like I say, I'll play my puzzle game or one that I want to get that has come out on Steam was the Talos Principle, and I played
Oh,
that
okay.
probably 7 or 8 years ago on the PlayStation, and it's a puzzle game. And what it is, if it just briefly, it's you have a door and you need to shoot a laser into the key to open the door. So you'll have a red laser. So you go get the reflector mirror and bounce the laser into the key to open the door. Well, sometimes you got to open the door, go through the door, get another laser, and bounce the blue laser to do something else. So it's just kind of a puzzle game.
Okay.
And I actually completed the game. It was a very difficult game, and I completed the whole thing. I was pretty proud of myself. And now they come out with a second edition, so I'm thinking about maybe checking that out.
Hmm.
So stuff like that I don't mind playing with is usually no time limit. That's the
Yeah.
thing that I don't like about playing the sports games on the PlayStation. It's just everything's rushed. The sports simulation games,
Mhm.
especially on the tabletop, there's no time limit. I mean, you
Yeah.
can sit here forever, and like on football, you don't. There's no rush on a play. Even if you play, actually PC or Pro Strategy Football or any of those second and 10, any of the games that you play on the computer. I mean, there's no. I mean, maybe some of them you can put a clock on if you want, but most of them, I mean, you can go off and get a drink and walk the dog and come back, and still there's no delay of game call.
Right.
So
Right.
there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
there's
It's
no
like
pressure
you
on
can
you
sit there and
playing.
I'm gonna decide 3rd down and 7. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get something to
Yep.
eat and come back and
Yeah.
just
Well,
yeah.
like I say, our Red Sox fan the other day was doing it, and he spent a long time setting up the prevent defense, only to make sure that he lost on a Hail Mary pass. You know what I mean? So, but he spent a good 2 or 3 minutes setting up his defense, so he would lose that game. So, but there was no delay of game, on that. So,
That's a
so
good
that's what
one.
I enjoy about this hobby here is coming over from video games. There's no rushing, there's no dexterity issues. You play and just have it's
Yeah,
just
that's why
fun, fun,
I
fun.
find the Strat Max interesting because it's targeted to people that play sports games for a living, but they do it on the tabletop. And I'm not sure how many people do that and also do gaming on their phone.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
I
think the
think they're two
strat
different people.
I don't think the strat card and dice player was their target audience. I don't think it was because those are the people that are the most angry because they wanted other things, strat to do other things. But going forward, you really do have to look at a younger audience, and I think that's what they were going with this. It's like, how can we bring some younger people over here and not just play these arcadey type of games? It's something that's a real baseball sim with real players, all the seasons available to you, and you can play it on your mobile phone. And that's where they're going with. I mean, even Tebow was saying that his daughter was playing Monopoly on her cell phone.
Hmm.
I would not play Monopoly on my cell phone, but
Hmm.
I'm obviously not his daughter's age, and things
Right.
like that. Now, myself, just to be fair, okay, just to be fair, um, if Appa Hockey was on the phone, I probably wouldn't play it either. It's just not where I want to play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the more I mean, I did your sale thing, and thank you and Ron for doing that. And I did the digital the oh the Dynasty League where you can sign up to do the Dynasty online Dynasty League for a month for a
Right.
dollar. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, it's
I
a
saw
great
you
deal.
doing that. Yeah.
I can do a whole month for a dollar. And so I signed up for that and I played the game. And after I got done playing the game, I was like, okay, I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done and over with that. I don't need a
Yeah.
month
Yeah.
to find
That,
out that
that's
I'm done with this.
That's the same thing I had with Strat Max. Is there's nothing wrong with it, and it plays exactly like I thought it was going to play. It's just, am I going to want to play it? And I guess my answer would be no. I don't think I'd want to play this on my phone. But then again, I don't think I'd want to play any game on my tabletop
See, that's
on
the
my
other
phone.
thing is I've got Wingspan. I got Marvel's Champions. I have like 8 or 10 different apps games that I can play on my phone because I was always like, oh, I
Mm.
can play this on my phone. And I'll go to the doctor's office like you, and I'll be like, oh, now is the perfect time. And I'll pull something up and I'll play it for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then, I get called in the doctor's office. And then when the appointment's over, I'm done. I'm kind of over it already.
Mm.
It's not something like I have to get back to it. Oh, I'm in the middle of this.
Yeah.
I have to finish it. No, I'm done. I don't need it anymore.
I'm even wondering if they were to connect the PC game to the phone or the iPad. So I could play on my computer, then go to bed and continue the game where I could roll the dice and see the cards. I don't even know if that would intrigue because I come downstairs here to Studio B and I have, my cards and dice area and I have my PC games. And this is where I play. And I don't want to be sitting there looking at my phone and playing a game. I want to play it here. I got my, my monitor here. I got my chair, my dog's with me, and just for me, I guess I'm just not a mobile gamer in that
Mhm.
aspect.
It just wasn't our generation. It
And I
just
thought that it would be neat. Like I say, you sit in the bathroom, you play an inning. You know what I mean? You,
Mhm.
you drive to the doctor, you play an inning. You
Right.
come home, you're sitting there waiting for dinner to cook, you play an inning. And I thought that's how I would do it, but I really didn't. It worked. It worked, but it just wasn't, at least not right now, not something that I wanted to do. And the major problem that I have, if there was one sticking point that was a deal breaker, and I don't know if you ran into this, was simming the other games was taking, I want
Way
to
too
say
long.
10 to 15 seconds per game. So I
Yes.
was I was at
Yes.
the grocery store and I'm standing in line. So I pull up, and again I was testing this everywhere to see if I would play this. And I pull out my game and okay, I'm going on to the next game. So I hit the button. I had 10 games to simulate.
Hmm.
At 10 to 12 seconds, that's 2 minutes. It's
Yeah.
120 seconds. I sat, by the time it was done simulating all the other games, now I can play my next game. I was at the register ringing myself up.
Yep.
So I sat
Yep.
there for 2 minutes just watching this thing calculate scores. It needs to be, so to me,
Yeah.
that was probably the deal breaker for me. If it sim the games like boom, 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 okay, now you're on to the next game. Perfect. Now I'm ready to play. I had 2 minutes of waiting
Yeah.
for the
It's
games to sim.
I don't know if it's because it's beta, right? But I ran into the same issue. But I ran into where it said, "Oh, I was playing the 2011 Cardinals. I played a couple games, and then it said you have 12 games before your next game." And I said auto sim them, and it auto simmed the first one, and then it went to the second one and just span. It
Got,
just
got
sat
hung
there
up.
and
Yeah.
spin and
Yep.
spin and spin and spin and spin. So I closed the browser. I brought the browser back open, and it was still spinning and spinning and spinning. And I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!"
I think I logged out at one point and went back in, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
didn't
got a
even give me
couple
a
of
chance
issues.
to like log in. It just, and so it's
Oh,
like, well,
really?
that's not great. And
Yeah.
and and I kind of was in the same boat as you. It's like, I mean, okay, it's only a couple minutes, but it's like
On your
a
phone, that's a
couple of
long
minutes
time.
of when I should be playing, and I'm
Yeah.
not playing. So it's downtime.
Yeah. Now,
It's hmm,
if they would have fixed that, it would inch me towards maybe checking it out. But I just found that I was trying to play this everywhere. And again, it works as advertised. Aside from a couple of hiccups, it works as advertised. Like I say, no matter where I go, I can pick it up and get right back into my game. Again, you can't customize anything. And so I'm playing in 78 and it's a modern stadium. Kind of doesn't bother me all that much. Some people said that some of the uniforms are off. I haven't noticed that myself, but maybe they were. But I was just playing it and having fun with it. And it's fine. It's fine, but I just
mhm,
don't know if I guess I'm just not a mobile gamer.
right. It just didn't. Maybe if we were 25, we would have a totally
Yeah,
different view because that
yeah,
was kind of our generation. And hey, where's Tebow? We can stop talking bad about him now.
yeah. Let's stop talking bad about Tebow.
um, so yeah, I mean, it like you said, it does what it's supposed to do. It's there. It gives you the option to do it if you want to do it. I would
Yeah,
recommend every person out there
try it.
if try it.
Hmm.
If they're going to give me a beta key, I'm sure they're going to send you a beta key. If they'll send them to me, they'll send one to you.
Hmm.
So hopefully, at least try. Right.
Yeah,
I saw Dave got his, and that night I went on, logged in, and I just did my thing, signed up. It asked you a few questions. It only took 10 minutes,
yeah, yeah,
and then like 2 weeks later, I get an email saying that yeah, your golden ticket has
yeah.
arrived.
Nice, and I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad they're letting people try it for free. I really am. Because that way you don't have to spend any money to be disappointed. And I've spent money on this and that, so you can play it for free. They get a chance to test it out to see what works and what doesn't work, and hopefully they'll fix some of those things, and it might work. But again, you know, even if and maybe I already said this, even if I could play the strat game and connect it to my PC where I see the dice and I see the cards come up on the screen, I'm not sure if I'd want to play that on my phone. And I
Mhm.
don't know if there's any game right now that I'm playing in a tabletop that I would say I want to play on my phone.
Yeah.
But again, just to be fair, there's games that I don't play, whether it's tabletop or PC, that are not bad games, but it just does something that I'm not interested in. How the game plays, it's like, that just doesn't interest me. And I think
Right.
that's kind of what the mobile gaming thing is. It doesn't mobile gaming in general just doesn't interest me.
Yeah. I think it's just our generation. We didn't grow up with it. Um, when we were teenagers, we didn't have phones in our hands, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The kids nowadays, right?
They grow
They
up, they're
grow up with
born, they,
phones
they
in their
come they come
hands,
out of the
so they
womb and
are
they're
they're mobile
dialing.
gamers.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Um,
on. Yeah.
I'm surprisingly enjoying baseball mass. Low expectations. It's not great, but it was
Nice.
fun and it looked nice. And I
Hey,
I
give me
really
one
think
second.
it's going to cause.
I'm gonna grab another drink here. My
Yeah,
throat's
go ahead.
dry. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. I still think it's going to cause a little bit of waves that Stratomatic is not prepared for, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to say, you can go ahead and put the resources into this program, but you haven't been able to put any resources into making my computer program any better for the last 20 years. So why all of a sudden are you able to do that? So I think there's going to be some unfortunate people that are going to be bent out of shape because of this. And like, I would be one of them. I mean, to be honest, like I want this to be successful for Stratomatic. I do. I kind of think it would be good for all the Stratomatic users out there. And I know a lot of my friends are Stratomatic users, and I feel like, yes, I would love it if this would be something they would use, but I don't see that happening. I just don't see our generation being switched over to being mobile gamers. And
Right.
I mean, sure, maybe we'll sign up for maybe a month or two, and then we'll realize I'm not using it. Why am
Yeah.
I paying for it? I
But
just
I'm
don't think
glad
it's,
they did it, though. I'm glad that
yeah.
someone took that step because Ron's always said whoever wins the mobile gaming war is going to survive.
All
And
right. So
Strat took the
what do
step.
you think
Strat
of
took that step.
and I have no inside information on this. This is just me thinking. Like, I thought they decided they were going to update their baseball computer program.
Mm-hmm.
And as they were doing this, they said to themselves, wait a second now, wait a second. If we update this, instead of selling it one time, maybe we should invest in a long term solution. And again, I have no inside information. I just thought this is how this came about, was they were like, oh, it's time we should probably update their computer program. And
I don't
instead
think
of,
they can. And Ron makes a good point with that. And when he says that he doesn't think that Strat will ever update the PC program because so many people have played that for so many years. If they were to make a huge change with that, people would lose their mind because they wouldn't know how to play it. So as much as I'd love to see that interface be like the Strat Max. I mean, that's a beautiful interface. It really is. But we're all used to the Strat PC. We really are, and we know where to go. As old as it is and as ancient as it is, if they would make some huge change, if they come out next year and said, hey, the Strat PC 2024 is going to look just like Strat Max, right? Nobody would know how to play it, because we're so used to the other way, and people don't like change. And I think they
I
would.
mean, yes, I understand your point. And unfortunately, you're probably business wise, that's why they're not doing it, but it just doesn't make new customers, I guess is
No,
what
you're
I'm
right.
saying. If they're
You're
trying to
right.
get new customers, they're not going to get new customers doing business that way. That's just my
It,
point,
it
I
it
guess.
took me a while to figure out the Strat PC games. Whether it's, I still can't figure out how to get a football game to work. Eventually, if I click around enough, I will get two teams to play each other. But for the life of me, that's the one game I can't figure out. The hockey, I'm getting better at. The basketball is very similar to hockey. The baseball is its own thing, but I've kind of played enough of that. But the football, like if I want to, hey, let me call up 1980 and play a game. Holy cow. I am clicking all over the place,
Mhm.
just trying to get that season to load and figure out how to start a game with two teams. And I haven't played that in months, so forget it. If I tried it now, forget it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. They're after the regular cash flow of subscriptions, like a lot of other entertainment. I agree. That's kind of that's
But
kind of
that's where
how
it is. That's where
entertainment's
entertainment is.
going, right? With monthly services, like how many, like you was it Netflix, right? And then
Yeah,
you got all
Hulu
the
and Disney
Hulu.
and yep.
You got your phone is a monthly service, basically just for your phone. So I mean, a lot
The
of
dice
people.
line on digital to dice, we have the text line, right? Where you can text us in. At the monthly fee, I pay for that.
There you go.
Just to have that on my phone. So that way, because I don't want to use my personal line for all the stuff for the show. So I have a separate text line for that, and I pay monthly fee for that.
Had both Dynasty League and Apago and just canceled both. Don't pay them enough to justify the cost, and that's
I would
unfortunately I think that's
play
going to be the reality for most of us because we're first of all our generation. Like if you're 40 to 50 to 60, like you got family, you got wife, you got kids, you have your job. I mean, most of us still work, right? No, there's not too many of us that are retired. We still have work. We still have things we do for entertainment. We still have kids. We still have a wife and family we got to take care of. We don't have time to sit around and play games all the time as much as we think we do. And that's why I was like, it's going to be really hard to justify maybe $6 or $7 a month, but $15 a month, that's pretty high steep for me.
if yeah, that's a good point. If this was a $5.95 a month or $4.95 a month, I would probably have it for a couple of months, and play it a little bit more. But yeah, you start getting 15 to 20. Not being a mobile gamer kind of pushes me out of the realm. Now, if I was a mobile gamer, I probably wouldn't bat an eye at it, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, that's how the kids are. I agree. Love Dynasty League. Dave, how you doing? How's you doing?
Now the
Dylan, how you
Apago.
doing? Good to
Go,
see you.
let me go back to the Apago for 1 second.
Sure.
I enjoyed that, because you can play a couple teams for free. I really like the Apago. If you could play a season and it would keep stats and sim the other games, I would have an Apago subscription without a doubt, because I like Appa, and I thought the Apago did a great job because it shows the cards, and I like how it shows all the cards. And you can play the game. You can roll your own dice, or you can just click the button to roll the dice in the game. So you're playing Appa. You
Mm-hmm.
really are.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I was looking to, I says maybe I'll get it for a month and kick around, or maybe I'll buy a season or something. But when I found out that it it really doesn't, it might keep stats, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out where my standings or my stats. And can you
It's
simulate other
it does
games? I
have
mean,
kind of a I don't want to say an old interface. It just doesn't seem like it's very
it
updated.
it
You know
it,
what I
it
mean?
it comes this close for me.
Right.
I
Exactly.
but
Exactly. It's like
it's like
it knows what
the
it.
inside sports games. I like the inside sports games. Inside the Crease is probably my favorite PC hockey game. Okay. The Inside Blitz, the football game, I really like that too. Okay. The problem why I don't play those very much is because they don't sim other games. You have to play every single game to start generating other team stats, and that ain't going to happen. I'm not going to play 800 games on the PC. That I don't have a season that I want. I think I got a couple of products going where I took one team, and let's see how many games I can win with that one team. But it kind of peters out when you're sitting there and there's no other teams playing games.
Right.
So the same
Mhm.
with the Apago. If Apago would sim, I would be playing Apago because I love it. It plays great. It's Appa, and I love Appa, but it's more of a one-off type of thing because it doesn't keep any stats or sim any games.
Yeah, it's true. It's so I think Dynasty League does a good job. I think Apago does a good job. I think Strap Max do a fine job. But none of these again doesn't matter the game or the system or the company or whatever. It just none of them really interest me in the long run to like I want to invest in it, you know? I
I
just
tried the OOTP on the phone. I think I
okay.
was on the phone with Ron one day. He's like, they have an app. So I downloaded the app, and it's free to play, but I think it's like a buck a team or a buck a season if you want to get. So it's very inexpensive. So like, okay, let me try it. So I got it out and I fired it up, and immediately I got a memory error.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just like this game is using up a lot of memory on your phone. I'm like, okay, continue. And so I just started playing a game, and it's the full boat. It's the guys running on the. It's OOTP. It
Okay.
really is. Now I don't know about all the ins and outs, but I was playing a game, and it shows the batters, and it shows the ball being hit, and them run. It was kind of cool, until I looked, and 5 minutes later, my battery was half gone,
Ooh.
and my phone was getting hot, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to destroy my phone and not going to wreck the memory over a baseball game. So I immediately deleted it off my
Mhm.
phone.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing StratMax did not do. It did not charm my battery. It did not wreck my memory. And it sims the other games, albeit slowly, but it does sim the other games. But I
Yeah.
tried the OTP. I did not try the Dynasty one because you had to install some program that allowed beta programs to install. I was like, whoa, that's a couple extra steps I don't want to put on my personal phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the StratMax is the one that it was the best out of all of them. I thought it was the best. No memory issues, no battery issues, no loading issues, no crazy things. Just and in fact, I think on my phone, because you got to go to a website. I think it said if you want to put a shortcut on your phone, click it. So I clicked it. So now I have a shortcut right on my phone. It's not
Oh,
an app
nice.
per se, but it goes right to the website right from
Right there.
the
Yeah.
the
Okay.
icon, so I can get there in a flash. So
Nice.
it does some
Nice.
good things. It does some really. I think it's probably the best of them all, as far as overall when I look at everything here. But again, just the games just take too long for me to enjoy because I don't like playing games on my phone that long.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, all right. I think we've kind of set our piece on this. I think
Hmm.
it does what it's going to do.
Yep.
In 2 years, we'll relook at it and maybe we'll change our mind. Who knows? I mean, it could be the best thing
If
since
you
sliced
like,
bread.
well,
Who knows?
if you like mobile gaming,
Right?
I think
It
you
could
will
be
like it.
great. It could be
Yep.
awesome. It might be something. Again, even though I'm not going to do it, and even though Dave's not going to do it, we both suggest you go sign up and try it for
See what it
yourself.
does. See if you like it. Yep.
Absolutely. A Replays Gamers here. Hello,
Nice.
Replay Gamer. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. Good to see everyone out there. So, you've been you've been working on a little project with cards and
Oh,
printing out your own little cards, haven't you?
I have. Here's a couple here I printed today. Yeah. So, what I've been doing is that I picked up Hockey Blast Express on Black Friday, and it came in a few days later, and it is a fun game. It is just a fun, quick play style game. It's a little different than some of the other games that I play, and you get to use all the cards that you have with Hockey Blast. And then I started to play the full Hockey Blast game, and for whatever reason, this time around it made sense and it was fun.
Really?
It did. I
Wow.
always had a problem with that game. I fought it. I don't know why. I ran into some bad things, and I had, some of the videos they did on the game were kind of funny. But this time around, it's working. I'm getting it. I'm getting the fights. I'm getting the cheap shots. I'm getting the momentum. And in the past, I just didn't get all that. Maybe
Mhm.
because it was just so different than, Strat and Apper and Bones and Shootout and all the other games I was playing. It was just so different. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But after playing the Express, going back to the full game, I'm enjoying it. So I picked up a few seasons on the Black Friday sale. The problem is they're newer seasons, and I don't mean newer by season, but newer created seasons, let's say,
Mhm.
have this newer style that I showed you. And the older seasons, the older created seasons, they have that boxy block style, kind of like this right here. So that's the kind of the block style that they
Just kind
had.
of
Okay, and it's
boring.
okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's how most of them are. But then you come over here, and so I take that Chicago Blackhawks team, and instead of having this, I make it look like this.
Much. I mean,
And that's how the newest season. Like I got 78, 79, and that has the new style, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this here. So I got a design program that I've never really used, and I went in and I measured the card, and I just started messing around. Next thing you know, I get a template, and I'm spitting out teams here, and it takes me a little while because I'm still learning the program, and you got to go in and basically I'm looking at the little card and just whatever it says, the name and all the stats, I'm putting on one card and then go to the next card. And so it's just one at a time type of thing, but it's been relaxing and enjoying. And I'm printing out a lot of the matchups, like I did the Bruins and the Blues, 69-70 Stanley Cup Finals. So I got those teams done. And so I'm just kind of doing things like that. I printed out like the Kansas City Scouts. I love the Kansas City Scouts. So I printed them out so I could play the Scouts. And it's just when you play with the new cards, they look so good. And it's just like you don't want to go back to the
Doesn't
old
and I
cards.
tell people this all the time, especially in the wargaming community. Looks are important. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely one of the most important things.
And I'm glad that they made the change to go to the newer style of cards because they do. They look dynamite. They really do. And but it just unfortunately all the older cards, I'm not like I say, I think I got 69, 70, 70, 71 of the older style, but 78, 79 is the newer style. And I think some of the newer seasons are the newer style too. But it's just now I want to go back and make them all look like the
Right.
good cards and
Right.
play those.
Right.
And
Right.
I've been enjoying myself. I'm learning how to use. I love learning, so I'm learning how to use the design program. And I've done a couple of videos on it. I says, hey, I'm going to play around here and watch me create the Buffalo Sabres or create the Rangers. And I play around, like I say, because you got all the colors here to play with. And
Right.
what do I want red? What do I want blue? What do I want black?
And you
And
can add your own little logos in. You can change the font. You can put in make the size. You can
yeah,
reposition everything to fit your style and
yeah,
everything.
it's been fun. I tend to do that too much, as I tend to spend a lot of time designing until I get every team done, and it cuts into my playing time. And I think we even did a show on that, cutting into our playing time.
Right.
Back
Yeah.
on Digital to Dice about spending all this time with PDFs and making them look nice. Or in this case, it's not a PDF; it's me actually physically typing in all the information on the cards one by one. But it's fun. I'm learning a program. It keeps me out of trouble. I can sit here and listen to other people play games on YouTube while I do it. And when I'm done the set, it looks so good, and it's so refreshing that I have a nice set of cards.
Hey Jeffrey, how you doing? And Baseball Maelstrom, what's going on, folks? How you doing? Good to see everyone here. You just did a um, kind of a live chat the other day that I came to, and I think this hockey blast might have inspired it because you were talking about quick play games
Mm.
and what you can do with them, and I thought the that was such an interesting discussion from people. How some people just loved quick play games and other people didn't, and there's a lot of advantages to quick play games. You are really getting into quick play games now, aren't you?
I like options, and I even like some of the Downey quick play games, like that ultra quick basketball that I picked up on Black Friday. I enjoy that. I do. And instead of sitting there playing an hour and a half, a 2.5 hour basketball game, I can get my two teams, I can roll some dice, I can go quarter by quarter and get my results. And it's super fun. Now I don't get any stats or something like that, but being a casual basketball fan,
Mm-hmm.
this is fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
really is, because I don't know the ins and outs of basketball. So it's kind of fun. Even with hockey, once in a while, it's fun to roll the dice and just get some final scores and things like that. But then you get the middle games, the 10, 15, 20-minute games. And and like I talked about in the chat, this is the sacrifice. You know, you if you got 20 minutes, you can create a meal, but you're not going to create Thanksgiving dinner. You're going to need all day to create Thanksgiving dinner. So if you want all the trimmings and the cranberry sauce and the gravy and the stuffing if you want all that, you need to put in the time. And that's the same with gaming. If some people like, I want full stats. Well, then you're playing the full game. And whether the full game is 45 minutes or an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours and 45 minutes, the only way to get everything is to play the full game. When you play the condensed games, everything is condensed, and you give up some of that detail to save some time. Myself, like I say, I played the quick playing games where you just roll the dice and you get no stats. And then I played the middle games, and that's what Hockey Blast Express is. It's kind of a middle game, and you can play that in. I think Rob G was playing that in 8 minutes. It takes me 10 to 15 minutes to play the game, sometimes 20.
Really?
But yeah, sometimes it all depends. But you can bang on a game and have some fun, and and you're done with it. Now you don't get all the stats. I think you get goals, but you don't really get assists. You have to kind of figure out a way to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
it depends what you're looking to do. Like if I just want to play a 7-game series of hockey, and I'm like, I don't really care about the stats. I just want to see who wins the series. You can bang that out pretty quick, and here you're good to go. and,
Yeah.
it's fun, and you see who
That is
wins.
that is I mean,
But if you want the
isn't
stats, that
isn't that the goal? Because how many of us, and I know Replay Gamers talked about this on his channel, how many of us had these great envisions of doing a series, or we're going to do something, and we start it and we get one game in or two games in,
yeah,
and then it dies because we
yeah,
just don't have the time to continue it.
hmm
And I think these you got me into this momentum football because I was like, hey, I can actually play a football game in less than 30 minutes. Are you
hmm
kidding me? This is this. I'm intrigued. What the heck do I need to do? And I get to roll the dice, and I get to see how each drive. I feel the flavor of the game, but you're right. I don't get all the fixins, but I do. I get most of the fixins.
it can satisfy you.
Right.
It can satisfy you. You can enjoy these quicker play games. And for me, I like my options, and it depends what I'm in the mood for. Sometimes I come down here and it's like, something, I'm going to pull out Hockey Blast Express, and I'm going to bang on a few games tonight and get some final scores and have some fun. And then other times I'm going to pull up the mat and I'm going to play a full game of Hockey Blast, and I'm going to put all the lines up and take me, 10, 15 minutes to set it up, and I'm going to play the game and play the full game. And you still don't get all the stats in Hockey Blast, because you are
Right.
still sacrificing a little bit
Right. Right.
compared to, like, I
Obvious.
think Strat, Appa, and Hockey Bones. If you play the full game, I think you do get full stats, and I think also in Inside the Crease too, you get the full stat.
Didn't they just come up with a express for their football game as well? The
Oh yeah,
second season express or
second
something like
season
that.
Express. I have that.
Yeah.
Marco Scola loves that, by the way. I don't know if
Okay.
he's listening tonight or not, but Marco loves that. I played it the other day. I pulled it out. It's like, it was fun. It's a quicker version of second season. Now, second season takes me 2 hours to play because it just does. It's a long game, you know. Yeah, and it's not a knock on the
It's
game, but
3 hours for me because I take
any football game that you play by play is going to take you 2 to 3 hours. That's just how it is. So if you don't have 2 to 3 hours, you pull up momentum football, a game-winning drive, or fast drive football from Al Wilson, or any other kind of mid-play game, and you can play it in 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, a half hour, and you can get the result. And sometimes you get just enough
Mm-hmm.
that it's
Absolutely.
enjoyable. But
Absolutely.
again, when I had my chat, there were some people in the chat, and it's like, no, I want all the stats. I'm playing the full game. Nothing wrong with that. And other people like, I got a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. It's going to take me a half hour to set up this, whereas
Yeah.
I can just whip out, momentum football or something like that, or even second season express, and I can bang out a game in a half hour and have my fill.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, by the time you have out the football field, all the charts, all the different player cards, everything set up on your table, and it's going to take you 2 or 3 sittings to get through a football game, that
Yeah,
is kind of a big
yeah.
commitment to
Oh, it is.
just
But
one single
yeah,
game.
and to be fair, when you're done, when I play a full game of App or Hockey Bones or second season or Solitaire Pro Football, anything that takes me, over the hour and a half, 2 hours, when you're done, there's some satisfaction in that you've played the whole game, and all the stats that you got are all actual stats that you saw. You saw every shot, you saw every handoff, every kick. You know what I mean? It's just you saw it all. So there's no really tacking on anything. It's all there for you to
That
enjoy.
that that Damon, you have nailed it on. You've hit the hammer on the head because you talked about this, and I'll never forget it. You talked about the fact that I had an amazing play on the last play of the game when I did my Hail Mary that between Cincinnati and Houston. And the Hail Mary, it ended up being a roll of like 66 or 65. So there was a penalty on it. And I wasn't sure, do I use the penalty? Do I not do the penalty? How do I, do I house rule this? Do I not house rule this? I wouldn't have encountered that if I wouldn't be playing play by play by play.
Right.
But
Yep.
now that I was invested in every single play, and that play obviously was
Yep.
the most important one at the end of the game. So yeah, I think there is good reasons to play through the full games so you can feel like you're invested in
It's
that
the
game.
best way to do it is to play a full play game. But there's a commitment, there's a time, there's probably space involved as well. And so sometimes the quicker play games, whether the quick play or the mid play games, you can play more of those, and you can wet that whistle. You can scratch that itch in a lesser amount of time.
Yep, absolutely. Cleveland baseball fan is here. Hello, Cleveland baseball fan. How you doing, buddy? Feel bad if a 9 inning strat game goes over an hour. Feel like I need to call in a pitch clock. Baseball, baseball, baseball. David, you've been playing a lot of baseball this year. You've been
Mm-hmm.
you're converted. You're no longer a hockey guy. You're gonna be a baseball guy. You play second season or
No, season tickets.
season ticket. Sorry, you're playing the APA. You never used to play the APA. You're playing payoff pitch. I remember when you played payoff pitch, you hated the game. Now
I
you
liked
play
it.
it
I
every
liked it.
day.
I liked it at first, and I bought a couple seasons, and then I pulled it out. I don't know, about 8 months ago, and I played a whole bunch of games one day, and that I didn't finish it. I didn't finish payoff pitch. And I get to the sixth inning. I was like, I don't like this, and I put it away. And then I went back to my other game. I was like, why don't I like it? And then so I took my payoff pitch cards and I put them in a box, and it says, well, maybe I'll get rid of these or sell them or something like that. I didn't throw them out, but I was like, I'll never play this game again. And then for some reason, 3 or 4 months ago, I said, why? What is it about payoff pitch I don't like? Let me pull it out. And I think it was the Replay Gamer who did a video on the updated rules for payoff pitch, or the updated instructions or something like that. And I was like, oh, you know something? You're right. They did have some new rules. So I had the old chart, the new chart, and the fast action cards, and I was all over the place.
Hmm.
All over the place. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because this says use this and this says to do that. Is the guy going from first to third? If I flip the fast action card, it's different than this and it's different than that. And so I finally said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit down with this game, and I'm going to map out how I'm going to play it. Right or wrong, I'm going to play it this way. So now I roll my dice in the beginning, and then if I need defense, I flip the fast action card to get my defense, and then I go back to the dice to determine if it's a hit or an out or an error, and then if it's one of those, then I go back to my fast action card and get that. If I don't need to go to fast action card, then I just roll my dice, and now I figured out the double plays.
Mm-hmm.
That drove me nuts. Now I get the double plays down, and now I use the newer chart. So if it's a hit into the outfield and there's men on base, I go to the charts now, or more of the instructions in the charts.
Yeah.
And
right.
and it says, it's like, okay, if this was from the wheelhouse,
Do
then
this. Yeah.
guys get extra bases. If it's
Mm-hmm.
from the patient or the in play, the optional rule is to flip a card. So I flip a card. Some people just keep flipping the fast action cards for the whole thing, and that's not wrong either. But for myself, I didn't like that. I wanted to roll the dice. And so for me, I go between the dice and the fast action card to a point now where I have a system. And now that I've got the system, I love this game. It's probably one of my favorite games. But I say that all the time when I play a game. But I just bought a couple more seasons for Black Friday, having so much fun with payoff pitch. It just works for me. But it took some time for me to sit down and figure out, again, old instructions, new instructions, fast action cards. I was all over the place. I'm getting frustrated because I was getting mixed up. Now I got it down. And now I can sit down and pull out the game and know exactly, am I going dice? Am I going fast action cards? And I get my results and I get my plays and I know where everybody's going, and it's working, and it's absolute blast. Payoff pitch, so fun.
Yeah,
I'm
it
glad I
was
stuck with it. I'm glad I went back to it.
it was my number one game like 4 years ago, and then it dropped down to like my number two or number three game. Then it dropped down to like 7 or 8 because I was very frustrated with it at one point. Just in how difficult it can be to get hits and stuff. You've had that time where it's just like tough strikeout, tough strikeout, tough strike. It's like,
Oh, if you're
nope,
playing
I
a good
can't do
pitcher,
anything. Yeah.
that game that Ron and I did, where we played the fictional team a few weeks ago, I think he took the 85 Cardinals. I think was it John Tudor was the 85 Cardinals pitcher? I forget who the
Don't
pitcher
remember who
was.
it was. Yeah, but I remember watching you guys do it.
So he picked that game, and he picked the best pitcher, and it was his whole card was just blue for tough.
Yeah.
And he was just mowing him down. And then finally in the seventh, they knocked 3 singles in a row to get a run across, and I think we had a 1-0 final. But if you get a good pitcher, yeah, you're not hitting him in payoff pitch. You're just not.
Well, I played was it last night or 2 nights ago? And 2 rolls in a row, I had a tough, and
I
I rolled
listened
a
to that.
56, and that's exactly what I
Like a
needed for
was
a
it a
double.
triple? I
No,
thought I thought it was a
yeah, it was a
triple. Was it
double. It was a
okay?
double. Yeah.
Double.
And then
I
the
think you get
next
back to back
pitch,
doubles, right?
it was exactly this. Yes, it was back to back doubles, and I needed exactly the same number every time.
Yep.
And it was like, oh my god, like I had
That's why
tough,
roll the dice instead of the fast action cards because you won't get that 56 twice on a fast action card.
right,
I
right,
don't think. I mean, I don't know how many 56s are in there, but you can roll that dice and you can get that 3 times in a row, and that
right,
creates a neat little
exactly.
storyline.
And
So
it was like the one number I needed back to back doubles. I'm like, you got to be.
yeah,
It's going to be one of these
yep,
crazy things. Yeah. Which those are moments that remake me go, this is a great game. This is a really good game.
yep,
It can be frustrating as sometimes where it's just like, damn, the reliever comes in and like you see all you see is blue and you're like, we stand no chance. It's
yep,
got,
yep,
but you do. You always get that 1,
yep,
2, or 12, and it's a wheelhouse, and you're like, oh my god, I hit a home run. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. And it's like, I love this game.
yeah. It,
Absolutely. And the other one, season ticket baseball now, and it's interesting because you turned me on to this game. You went crazy with printing out all your own cards, and
oh, those are the
and I
best.
did that, and I printed them all out, and I cut them, and it turned out like crap, and I was very disappointed. And you got on, you did a little video on how you do it, and I was like, huh, maybe I'll give it another chance. And I ended up actually buying the little perforated sheets that they recommend.
Oh,
So I
really?
printed them all out, and then I just take the little perforated sheets and fold them in half and tear them
Well,
apart, and it
what I
worked
did
great.
is I have the 110-pound card stock that works in my printer. And what's great about it is first of all, Clay has every team has got its own sheet, so there's no bleed over. So if you just want to print the Cardinals, you just print the Cardinals. You're not printing, the Cubs, along with it. And so yeah, it's either 2 or 4 pages because you get your batters and your pitchers, and if there's more than was it 12? I don't know how many on a page. 3 times 3. No, I forget
There's
how many on a page.
three. There's 6 on a page, and there's usually 3 or 4 pages. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you sometimes they have the extra batters, which is another additional page, and extra pitches was another additional page or a couple of pages. But you pick what you want to print, and the great thing about that is I put them on the card stock, and when I put them on my cutter, they are lined up perfectly. So if you picture the long way, if you cut them in thirds, and then you cut those in half, they're perfect. They are perfectly cut. There's no lines. There's no score lines, and they are some of the easiest cards I've ever had to cut. And it just took me a couple of tries to put it on my cutter and figure out where's the 1/3 mark because you try to get 1/3 of 11 inches and it's kind of weird. But if
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be there.
found it on my cutter. I found exactly where the 1/3 mark was, and I cut it. I slide it through to that mark again. I cut it again. So now they're perfect
And
this
you got
way,
that mark
and then you
there.
then you
Perfect.
then you cut them in half because it's 8.5, right? So you go 4 1/4, slide it to 4 1/4, cut it in half the other way, and all 6 of those cards are almost, they're just like right out of the
Wow.
print shop. They are perfect. And I'll sit here all night and just keep printing teams. I blew through a whole stack one night because I was like, man, I'm having fun because they're coming out so good. And the season ticket cards, I like how they look. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I like, and
They're
they don't
nice
use a
looking
lot of ink.
cards.
They're not covered in ink. See just a little bit of ink at the top, but it's a lot of white, so you're not using a lot of ink, and just everything is laid out. You can see it. And I like how it's like it tells you the arm, it tells you the range, it everything is there and it's marked. You're never guessing at what it is, and
Yeah.
so that's a fun game. But the printing
I
of that is a
definitely,
breeze.
um, kudos to the designer. I've never talked to him, so I don't know who he is. I know he does the baseball mogul stuff, and I've always liked the baseball mogul stuff. But kudos to him for designing sheets, like literally, like I said, print these out. He said, if you're wanting to use perforated sheets, order these from Amazon.
That's great.
Had the
Yeah.
link and everything, so I just clicked on the link. I ordered like 200 pages, had them shipped in, and I printed them out, and they perfectly centered
Mm-hmm.
everything. I didn't have to click on. How many times have we done it where somebody says, do this, and you do it and it doesn't look right, right?
Right.
And you get mad and frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
These, I was like, that worked perfectly. All I have to do is click print and it puts it perfectly where it needs to go, and I don't need to do anything fancy.
Yep.
I was like, I mean, look at my stack I've printed out. I got a huge stack of
Yep.
cards that I printed out because it's like you said, I can print out 200 in a couple minutes, and I don't have to worry about like having to check and make sure they're all aligned right
Yeah,
and
because a lot of
everything.
times you print out cards and you stack them up and you're looking at them and one's like up this like that and just like, oh, now I got to trim this guy here and then when I got in the group I said, wait a sec, let me just cut these in thirds and then in half. It's like, oh my gosh, and they're all like, as long as you can get a good cut, and you know where to go on your cutter. They were like right out of the print shop. They were good, and they're on 110-pound stock, and they're great. I really
So
do,
what
and I
we're
wasn't
saying
doing
is, you
that.
can do it Dave's way, you can do it my way. They both work
They both
great.
work. They both work. Yep.
Absolutely, and it gives you options, so you can do whatever you want. And I know they're going to start actually printing out cards now. Wasn't that their last?
I think they had talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, they
I
were
still think
going
it's
to start.
cheaper though to print. It depends what they look like, but I'm happy with what I have. With the PDS, when you get them on that sale for Black Friday and they're what 30% off, and it's what 16, 17, $18 a season, and you print them out pretty quick and you cut them and they look awesome. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I don't need them printed. This is one that I will just print myself.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love the look of the cards. They're they're not they're not your typical baseball card. They're a little bit bigger, which I
Hmm.
like. I
Yeah,
like the fact they're nice and
but they're
big.
not too big. They're not too
Right?
big though.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't take up a ton of room, but you got these nice big font. You can see
Oh,
clearly.
everything is crystal clear.
Yes, very nice. I mean, kudos to the designer. I like to call good things out when I
Hmm.
see them, and I've had nothing but good things to say about it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the game for other reasons, but I mean, kudos for the design, the development. Just everything looks great.
The
On
game
and
I find to be super fun. I think you said it runs a little hot, and I would agree. It runs a little hot sometimes compared to like a payoff pitch where you struggle to get that hit. But what I really like about season ticket is you have the basic game, but then there's so many options you can add.
Mhm,
If you want to steal a base, you try to get the lead. During the lead, the pitcher can pick you off or he can throw
mhm,
the ball away.
mhm,
So that's all in there. Then when you steal, the catcher can either get you or throw the ball away.
yeah.
And just the whole challenging system of challenging the arms and challenging the runners, I find to be super fun. I really do. And I like the fact that you can add as many options as you want to this game. You can play really, really advanced with this game, or you can play really basic, and it's still very fun. And I personally think that season ticket has the best rare play chart in baseball games.
that
I've had
they do
some
have an
terrific,
extensive one. Yes.
really terrific rare plays. They don't come up often, but when they do, it. I find that it was very believable, very fun. My favorite one was Ron Say of the Dodgers. Okay, the Penguin. He got a hit into center field. It was a rare play, which I think is a 500. I think, right?
500 to 509. Yes. Yeah.
So I got a rare play. And I looked and see what was going on. Could you go to the chart? It's like, I forget if there's men on base or whatever. So you roll on the rare play. And the rare play said it was a deep drive to center field, and the center fielder hits the wall and gets knocked out.
Ah,
It's an automatic triple, and you have the chance for an inside the park home run.
oh
And
my gosh.
and you challenge the fielder's arm. I don't know if it was left field or right fielder arm. And so I said, the heck with it. I'm going to send Say home. And okay, I look at Say's running. It wasn't that good. And I looked at the fielder's arm and I was like, well, I rolled the dice and Say got an inside the park home run. And
Wow.
when I said that to people, I said, that would never happen. It's like, well, the outfielder hit the fence and was knocked out. And the ball sat there while Say ran around the bases.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
could get an inside the park home run if the guy
Mm-hmm.
hit the wall and couldn't get the ball, and someone had to come from 100 feet away to get it. So
Right.
I thought it was very believable. and I sent him home for the heck of it, and he was safe. And it was like that was fantastic. That was so fun. It's like they're gonna send him, and you know how you get when you're like they're gonna
Oh
send him.
yeah.
Okay, I need to roll it. I need to roll 9. If I don't get a 9, he's out. Here comes the Penguin inside the park home run. He's safe. And you can picture him like huffing and puffing and the whole bit. I mean, so many good times of that game. So many good times with season ticket.
Good, good. That is, I've had a few rare plays. I've had trying to remember the one that I had that was kind of interesting, but I mean, I normally I don't like rare plays in my games because I think they should be rare and they shouldn't happen all the time. That's just me. So like for payoff pitch, when you roll a 0-0, you're supposed to do
Mhm.
a rare play, and I house rule my own thing. I don't like them, so I don't normally like them, but they've been fine in season ticket. I don't ever I guess I don't have a problem with them in season ticket. I guess because they don't come up that often.
Mhm.
Very small chance. So um, yeah, and they weren't like crazy, but I like you. It has to be
I got a
believable
good
for
one.
me to be
I
able to
got a
be able to believe it, right? It
I
can't be
got a good
something
one. Yeah.
crazy, right?
This how sometimes the rare plays in different games, it's something dumb, and it's just like, oh, that was dumb. But sometimes you get a good rare play, like, oh, this is kind of cool. Outfielders collide, or it hits the base and bounces into the outfield, or the
Right.
pitcher stumbles, and sometimes you get something good, and it's a rare play, and you don't want these to happen all the time, but once in a while, it does add a little bit of flavor, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dwayne, what's going on? Dwayne Martz, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see everyone today. So thanks everyone for coming out. We're just catching up, just talking with Dave, just trying to find out what's going on. Are you ready for the holidays? You got all your shopping done?
Yeah, I think so. The wife, I said we don't usually buy for each other because we just get what we want during the year. But I said this year, if you want to get a few things, we'll get a few things. So she sent me her list from Amazon. It's all stuff that like she uses to go to the gym, or
Mm,
just certain things around the house. It's like, okay, whatever. So I just added all my card, and I was like, something. I'm gonna see if I can get a season or two or something. So I says, I will send you the link. I'll make it easy, because she doesn't know about this stuff.
right,
So I says,
right.
if I send you the direct link to exactly what I want, can you get it? She's like, yeah. And so I went to pay off pitch, of course, and I saw a season there. I was like, okay. So I sent her the direct link for that. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a season of APA. And boy, I tell you, I went back to payoff pitch and got a second season of payoff pitch. I mean, 2 seasons of payoff pitch. Not on sale, by the way, just the standard price. I want to say they're $44 each, so it's $88 plus shipping.
Mm,
The one APA season was going to be like $86 plus shipping. I'm like, there's no way
mm,
she's going to go drop that for
yeah.
me. And I'm not trying to knock APA at all because I like playing APA, but I mean, if I can get 2 seasons for the price of one,
Hmm.
and I like both games, they're both fantastic games. I'm like, so I did. I said, no, I'm not going to do the APA for Christmas. I'm going to do the payoff pitch, and you know,
Yeah. I mean, I know me and Phoenix Knight have talked about this. He's obviously getting into playing some sports games. He enjoyed the APA hockey, so he asked me about the APA baseball, and I said, "Here's the
and this
thing."
from a guy that's all APA up there.
Yeah, right,
Okay, from the top to the bottom, that's APA hockey and APA baseball. Mostly APA hockey. But so this is not. I'm not a APA basher. I'm
right.
an APA
No, no,
supporter, and
we're
I
not.
have a
We're not.
ton of APA up there.
All I'm saying is, you just have to understand if you want to invest in it, it's a great game, a great system. You have a lot of fun,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to cost you to get in.
Yeah.
You know, he, I wanted to buy a season, right? I got a bunch of APA. I'm I'm looking to get another season. I want the master symbols, and I went to buy a season. And between the core game and then you buy the extra players, it was
100,
$124 for the two
120.
things.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
to be
It,
honest,
it-
I ordered 4 seasons of payoff pitch for that.
yeah.
And I'm like, I just can't justify
And the thing
buying
is,
one
I
season.
like APA. I like Strat. I like payoff pitch. I like pocket pennant run. I like, season. I got a ton of baseball games that I play, and I really like. But again, it's just when you look at the price of something, it's like, this right here, that right there, that thing right there, that's my no hitter. That's my Roger
Uh,
Clemens 1988 no hitter against the Oakland A's, and I did it one night while I was trying out my camera, and
oh, that's right. Yes.
I got a no hitter by accident, and it's all legit. So I framed the thing up there. I have it on the wall behind me. That was Appa. That was an Appa game, and it was the new '88 season I just got. You
Yeah.
know, I would
Mhm.
love to do more Appa, but it's so hard when you can get 2 seasons of payoff pitch for one of Appa, and I like them both equal. So it's
Phoenix Knight's still here. He said, I found a guy in BGG who had a copy of Apple Baseball with the 1999 season for $20.
oh wow,
So I saw him do a unboxing of that. It is how do I put this? You get what you pay for, right? You do get what you pay for. We've been saying that for years. Like, you want a good meal, you go to a good
yeah,
restaurant. You
yeah,
want a good game, you might have to pay for it
yeah,
to get a good game. It's up to you. Like, Ruth Chris Steakhouse is 20 minutes down the road here. I can go and get a excellent steak that people talk about, but it's going to
hmm
cost me $200 for that steak.
yeah,
Or I can go
right.
across the street to Logan or to Longhorns and get not as great a steak, but
But
it's
it's
not going to cost
$40.
me
Yeah,
$200. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, and it's tough because the payoff pitch, and I can't keep like gushing over, but it checks all the boxes. The cards, if you get the printed cards, they're the best. They're the best. They are, and it's not a knock on anybody else, but they just are the best. The payoff pitch cards are fantastic. I love the ballpark card especially. I love that, and I love how you need to use the ballpark card too. That's the other thing. It's not just
It
there
has
for
the stats
show.
and the ratings on it for
That
everything.
comes into play quite often. So the ballpark card is there, and I like how they have the color set. The cards are nice and thick. I think they're a little bit of gloss on them. So the payoff pitch cards I find are the best in the industry. The fact that you get every player is another huge bonus.
This is
You
one
know,
team. 40. I think I counted them the other day. 47 cards for one team.
yeah. So like you unbox the payoff pitch, so it's like for $44 plus shipping, you get everybody, and then you even get the cards of like they have the combined cards too.
Combined.
So if somebody
Yeah.
played on two teams, and I never used those, but the idea that that Joe Blow is going to be on the Red Sox and the Cubs if you played on both teams, so you never have to go digging for them. That there's a card for both teams. Season Ticket does that too, by the way, and that's a big deal for me because I like to play like the replay game. It says I like to play, I like to replay a season, rather
Mhm.
than the best of the best of. And so when you're replaying a season, I go into Digital Diamond and I set it up or whatever, and I'm looking for a guy I don't have. It's kind of a bummer. It's
Yeah.
like, now what do I do?
Mhm.
But with payoff pitch, I mean, the cards are great. $44 for the seasons that I want to play, 70s and 80s, are very affordable, and you have every player. That's all. That's all I would want in a
Yeah.
baseball game.
There was a player in here I was looking at the other day who had two at bats. And I'm like, they went through. Oh, here we go. Two at bats. Right there he is. Dustin
Huh, yeah.
Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Two at bats. He struck out once, and yeah, at 0-0 average. So he must have grounded out or
There was
whatever.
a team that I played the other day, and I think it was like a Toronto team. And I'm going through the pictures, and they had a picture that, like, holy cow, what is this guy? It's like he had really weird pitcher stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, excuse me. He he also played shortstop, so he must have pitched as a what do they call those, a position player?
Position pitcher. Yeah. Yeah.
So he must have went in during a blowout and pitched
Yep.
for a couple of innings, and
Yep.
so he's got a card and
He's got
payoff
a
pitch.
pitcher card.
Because I'm
Yes.
like, who is this guy? Then I wait a sec, there's something wrong here. This guy's playing shortstop, but why has he got a pitcher card? And when I looked at the card, I was like, oh, that's it. He's a shortstop or whatever he was, outfielder. He must have pitched, and Joe carded him, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I
Mm-hmm.
really do.
Yep. Absolutely. Um, Thought about payoff pitch, invested in replay, and have gotten hooked. Yeah, there's and RJL, poor RJL. Where is
I
he? Here
know,
he
I
is.
know.
Inside
He's
pitch with no love. Yeah, I was waiting to bring this guy. It's true. It's true. Um, it's a game. There's a bunch of games that never get talked about, but you're right. Inside pitch is kind of that one forgotten about, it's,
I
and
tried it. I
I
had a
think
hard
it's
time with
because
it.
of what you said. It's because to get into it, you have to play every single game because there's no AI at all in that game. And it needs an AI. It needs, if they would create an AI for their game, I think it would
Hmm.
be 5 times more popular than it is. It's
Yeah.
just so much work knowing that if I do this, I'm going to have to play every single
Yeah.
solitary game.
Yeah, I looked when I before I bought Payoff Pitch going back, I think 3 years ago. I was like, okay, I have Strat and Napa. What's another game I can play? And I looked at all the games that were available, and it was between Payoff Pitch and Inside Pitch. And I was watching videos on all of them, and I went with the Payoff Pitch. And obviously, I'm glad I did. But I just found it, and no disrespect to the game or Robert, because Robert makes that game sing. But I personally had a hard time, a real hard time playing Inside Pitch, where there was just so many different things happening in it that I couldn't follow it. I couldn't do the base running. I didn't know what was going on. And even with the PC game, it's supposed to help you. I still was lost.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Mm-hmm.
a point, it's like, something, I'm just going to stick with the payoff pitch, and that'll be that. And Jeff brings up replay. I've tried to go back to replay a couple of times. And that's another game that it just eludes me. It just eludes me. And then maybe, like I say, maybe if I sat down one night and really went through it, but I'm happy with the games I play, so I really don't need to go on and play any other games right now. Maybe at some point I'll pick up a season of each and give it a shot. But I did try some other games, and it just didn't click with me. And
It's
and but
for
that's
me
why we
for
have so many
replay.
games.
It's like you roll dice and you're getting a number and you're adding the number to another number and then you're looking at the number on the chart to find out what happens, and then a lot of times you're comparing that number to like your infield range or your outfield range. And so for me, I'm trying to remember numbers
Hmm.
and I can't remember the first number, let alone the second or third or fourth number that I
Yeah.
had to come across. It was just way too many numbers. Like I just couldn't, like 4 4 1 is a 6 and a 5 1 is a 2. And then you gotta add the 6 and the 2 to get an 8. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I,
is just
I tried to follow it the other day. A few weeks ago, I had it on the computer, and I was trying to follow it the best I could. I had the charts and the rules, and I didn't even get out of the first inning before I just kind of put everything away. I just couldn't follow. It's like, okay, okay, I saw that. Okay, good, strikeout. Good, got the strikeout. Okay, now here's a hit to second base. Okay, good, got it. Why is there a pitch in the dirt? Why am I rolling for a wild pitch? I have no idea. I have no idea why I'm looking at the instructions. I'm looking at the charts. I couldn't follow it. Just
hmm,
couldn't follow it. Then something
hmm,
else happened. I'm like, why is this happening? If I was playing cards and dice, I wouldn't be rolling for wild pitches and I wouldn't be rolling for this other stuff. So I just was so lost.
hmm,
So lost. And then people gave me crap for it. But I'm like, sorry, I'm lost in this game. And I got it on the computer, which is supposed to be a faithful reproduction of the cards, and I couldn't do it. And so I was like,
hmm.
okay, well, I'll play it on the computer. And so I put the cards away and I just played it on the computer. And I had fun. I have fun on that. I've had, I like how you can roll your own dice on the replay computer. So it's a fine game, but for me, the cards and dice, I just couldn't get it to work for me.
I think the only thing with replay baseball is baseball demos switching his 93 season from replay to inside pitch. I think he gave up on the replay. It was just too much for him. And so he went to inside pitch. Deep Drive is another game that we don't ever talk about. That's true.
Hmm.
Um,
I haven't tried that
Kind
one
of
yet.
another one of those ones that got a little bit of love originally and then kind of just, um, I don't know, just kind of faded away, I guess. I don't know. Nothing really, I don't know. It just didn't inspire me. That's just me, though, I guess. Um, the base running and inside pitch is easier than Stratomatic, APA, payoff pitch. People just give up on it early. Um, it is, and this is coming from someone who did a full 162 game inside pitch replay on the computer. So I've played a few games of inside pitch. I know a little bit of what I'm saying, and I will say this: the base running is not intuitive like it is in a lot of the other games. And it is, depending on where the ball is hit, you're going to get different numbers. And that is very confusing for a lot of people. Like, why is it a 6 over here? I need a 3. I need a 4. I hit it over here. Sometimes I'm using it against the 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 fielder. Sometimes I'm using it against their arm rating. It's not it's something you need to play 5 to 10 games to get used to it before you're going to be comfortable with it. So I can understand why people get a little frustrated with the way the base running is, and of course, that's the most difficult part of any baseball game
Hmm.
is figuring out. I got a runner in first, and I get a single. Is that guy going to second or is he going to third? So he likes inside pitch. Of course he does. I play 3 Cubs season replays a season. Status Pro works for me. That's another
Hmm.
one we don't talk about. It's an underrated game. History Maker and Payoff Pitch. Those 3 games work for me.
Noble but hits it right on the head. ID. What works for you? And the one of the smaller problems in our community is that if I don't like a game, then nobody can like the game. Or if I like a game better, then everybody has to like it better. And that's not the case. It's like what works for you, and Noble hit it right on the head. Now he listed some games that he really enjoys. Some of those games work for me and some don't. It doesn't mean that nobody should play them. It doesn't mean that they're bad games and we should, throw the developer off a bridge or anything like that. It just means what works for you. And sometimes what works for you doesn't have to be the most statistically accurate game. Maybe it's just fun. Like momentum football for me, I don't find it to be the most accurate football game out there, but hot dang, that is a fun game to play. It really is. And so,
Yeah,
what works for you? If inside pitch works for you, play it. Like Al says, play
absolutely.
what you want.
RJ, it took me a while to get the base running down, but when it worked, but once it got it, it got it. And that, I think, is a great statement for just about any game out there. Dave, you didn't enjoy Payoff Pitch until you got
Learned
it.
that,
And
yeah,
once you got it,
yeah.
you
Mhm.
got it. And it might take you 5 games. It might take you 50 games. But sooner or later, if you play it enough, no matter what game it is, you'll finally get it. And when you do, you'll either say, "This is a great game and I love it," or you'll say, "Not for me."
Right, exactly.
So there's a lot of great games. Again, Deep Drive Baseball, great game. A lot of people love this game. It's just not. It's for me. It's just too simplistic, and I don't. I want a little bit more meat to it. And but for other people out there, they love the flow because it's boom. All the outs and ratings are on the player cards. I don't need to look anything up. They're having a great time with it. And if you're having a great time with it, all uh, nothing I'm going to say is going to change your mind. Absolutely not. And I wouldn't want to change your mind. If you're having a great time with your game, no matter
Absolutely,
what
yeah.
I say
Yep.
or Dave says or anyone out there, if they tell you something and you're having a great time with it, you do you. That's the best that
You're
I
not
can
hurting
say.
anybody by playing a game. And if I don't like the game for whatever reason or it doesn't work for me, that doesn't make you a bad guy, or anything like that. It just doesn't work for me. Or maybe it doesn't work for me right now. Payoff pitch worked for me, then it didn't work for me, and now it does work for me.
Yep. And it was there's payoff pinch, season ticket, um, APA. It doesn't matter. Stratomatic. It all has a learning curve. It's you can learn any game you want if you just sit down and play it enough.
Hmm.
And I would highly recommend you try a bunch of different games out there because there's a lot of great ones. Dynasty League, even you can buy the card and dice. Triple play baseball. I know I played that on my channel a few times. People always look at me like, "What the heck is this game? Never heard of it." Um, it's another Fourth Street baseball or Fourth Street. Any of the sports are great. There's not, as you guys said, we're living in a golden age of sports sims right now. There's any sport, there's hundreds of different
So many
varieties.
different games of all kinds of sports to play, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great time to be around. It's a great time to be playing games and enjoying lots of different things. I got payoff pitch over here. I got my second season over here. I got 8 games just
Mm.
lined up, ready to go here on the table. I know you do the same thing. You just have them all lined up there, ready to go. What do you got coming up? Coming up on your channel soon. What's
Probably
your
some more hockey blast because I've been printing out all the teams. So I want to show off the cards a little bit and play that. The express game is fun. You can usually play 2 or 3 express games pretty quick, like a half hour. So you can play 3 express games. So they're kind of fun. um, Probably definitely some more payoff pitch. I have that 1979 season that I've been using all kinds of games to play. And so
mm,
I want to pull that out. And I want to finish that season off. I'm using Digital Diamond to simulate a bunch of games, and then I play some other ones. So I've been playing a lot of that offline, but I do want to kind of wrap up that project so I can get on to my next season.
yeah.
So you see some of that. I do want to pull out that ultra quick basketball that I got on Black Friday from Downey Games. That's
Yes.
a fun, quick role play basketball game for someone that is not a huge basketball fan.
Mm,
I got a couple of really fun seasons to play with that, and I'd like to roll some playoffs and just get some results with that. That's a fun game. It really is. I enjoy the ultra
it's
quick game.
when we've talked about this. We're hockey, right? We enjoy the football, and now you doing a little bit more baseball. But neither one of us is big basketball. But I'll tell you what, I've all of the basketball games that I've actually played. I played the Stratomatic baseball game. I don't know what its official title is, and I played the replay basketball game. I played both of them this year, and I actually had a great time playing them. I'm
Mhm.
not a basketball guy, but I'll tell you what, they were. If I could find a faster way to play them, I might
The
actually play more.
replay PC basketball game is super fun. It really reflects the cards and dice version of the game. That is super fun. I was playing the Celtics, and I think I was halfway through the season when my computer finally died, and I don't know if I saved it or not to pick it up where I left off. But I was playing that during COVID. I was every night I was playing Celtics games, and that was a fun game to play. Really, replay PC basketball is so fun. And as a guy that doesn't know anything about basketball, I was enjoying the heck out of that. You roll in there,
Right,
click on it. I need a three. It's good. Bird sinks it. And the Celtics have tied the game.
right.
It flowed really well. It really did. I have a couple of Strat basketball seasons cards and dice. That basic version is super fun too.
Yeah,
I really need to put that back on the channel because
yeah,
that now I the advanced game was too much for me because I don't know anything about double teaming and covering anybody. But the basic game where you flip the card over to tell you what this is and who gets
right.
the shot, and then you roll the dice, and I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy Strat basketball cards and dice. Again, it's
Yeah,
a longer game, but I did enjoy it.
yeah. I was thinking, obviously play by play basketball game. It's going to take you a while to play, but I was kind of using some of our sports simmers ideas out there. I know Kurt Berglund's got a football series now where he replays the fourth quarter from different football games, and I thought, well, that's a great idea. I can take my basketball game and just replay the fourth quarter and not have to play the first 3 quarters, and I can actually get it done in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
And
But
I
what you
thought that
do is
was a good.
you get ultra quick basketball. You roll for the first 3 quarters.
Oh, now there you're talking.
So and that's what some people do is with the football game, the second season, is they'll play the fast drive football from Al Wilson for like the first half, and then second season express for the third quarter, and then pull out the full second season for the fourth quarter. So you kind of in about 45 minutes you get to that fourth quarter, then you can play
Ah,
that out. So yeah, so the combination of the quick play games and the full games, that's a good way to do it too.
wow. Hmm. That is an interesting thought there, where you're actually playing part of the game in one system and then switching over and playing the other half or quarter of the game or whatever in a different
So if
system.
you so instead of just like I don't know what the score would be after 3 quarters of basketball, but if you roll the dice, like holy cow, this team's on fire. They might pull off the upset, so they take a 6 point lead going into the fourth quarter. Then you play that out. Might be
Ah,
a way to do that.
yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea for sure. Um, David says that I also like the flow of my favorite fall classic baseball. Mm, yeah, my favorite. One of my favorites. Another one. I wish I could play more, and I've got a few seasons, and I just don't get it to the table because it just so many. There's
Too
too
much,
many
too much.
things. Yeah, I just have too many things. And then I watch your Thanksgiving Day here, Black Friday, order, and I order a
Yeah.
bunch of new stuff. And now I got no more. I got no more room. I got no more room. I don't know what to do. I run out of space. That's why things are sitting on my table, and it's all your fault. I'm blaming you for sure. I know you picked up a few things for Black Friday.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
Well, I didn't play all summer, so I didn't buy anything all summer. So when Black Friday came, I was like, okay, you know, I'm unloading here. So I picked up a bunch of payoff pitch and
Yeah,
a
it's
couple of new
almost like
games.
you have to because I
Yeah.
mean you're saving 15, 20, 30%. I
I
mean
usually
it's
load
just
up on the sale.
yeah,
If aside from the 10%, 10% is really, yeah, it's not much. But you get 15, 20, or 30% off. I'm going to be getting some things, even if I never play them. At least I don't feel bad that I paid full price for them.
right, exactly. Exactly. There's just so many good sales. I know I sent you an email like after I ordered a bunch of stuff, then I took a break for a couple days, and I went back and ordered some more stuff. And I'm like,
Mm,
gosh, damn.
yeah. And how do you say no? Some of them are like, oh man,
Yeah,
how do I
I
say
mean,
no at this price? You know.
yeah, exactly. Hey, David, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. Keith, how you doing? I do need more tables. That is
Hmm.
true. If I have, yeah. If you saw my table right now, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to show you. I got too many things on my table. I have all my. I got. Well, you can't really see, but you can see all my new payoff pitch seasons. I haven't even put them away because I'm just got them stacked up on the table here. Just huge stacks. When you go to, you realize you got two stacks of cards this high for a season.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's amazing how many cards you get with this. And I can't believe he doesn't charge like $80. I just don't know how he does it for the price he gives you. It's
That's why
incredible.
I loaded up on some seasons in case he goes up on his prices. I have all the ones that I want. You know.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I've got quite a few seasons myself. Oh, all right. Well, I think we're going to start winding things down. I know we didn't want to get too late today. So if anyone has any other thoughts and questions for Dave while he's here on the channel, thank you so much, Dave, for coming out tonight. We do appreciate it.
It's fun
Joel
talking
says,
games.
love Strat, super advanced basketball, cards and dice. But man, keeping track. I can only keep a quarter at a time before I need a break.
Yeah.
I, Joel, I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you're about my age or not, but I feel you, man. After like an hour, I'm hitting a brick wall. I got to take a break.
Hmm.
I just can't do it
That's how
anymore.
Hockey Bones is. When I play Hockey Bones, it's like, well, the Excel helper had sped it up quite a bit, but it was like 30 to 45 minutes for a period on the tabletop. And yeah, after one period, I'd have to take a break because it's just so much thinking and sorting and this and that. And then you're like, whew, okay, period one's over. I need a break. I need to go and clear my head here or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes those games can, we talked about quick play games and full play games. You don't get the ice cream headache after a quick play game. The full games, again, you need the time and you're taking breaks because it's like, holy cow, my head is hurting.
It's they are a commitment, but I do like how you said that, Dave. Like when you finish it, you feel like you were there and you're part of the game and you
Hmm.
understand what happened and you understand who did things in the game and you feel like you're part of it because you witnessed it in reality.
And Ron brought up a good point. I was talking to Ron the other day, and I don't know if it was on the channel or if it was just on one of our conversations. And we were talking about long play games versus he calls them the highlight game, where you get the highlights. Here's a
Mhm.
shot on net or here's a touchdown pass, like momentum. It's like it's field goal, interception, turnover, whatever. When you play the long full play games, we'll call them a full play games, you have all the little monotonous stuff that happens. And then you have the touchdown, or then you have the goal, or then you have the blocked field goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you play in the highlight games, all you get is the highlights. You get the goals, you get the touchdowns, you get the field goals. But when you're grinding it out, and it's like, oh, it's a 2 yard run, it's a 3 yard loss, oh, it's incomplete. Here's the punt, and you get all that monotonous stuff, and then all of a sudden it builds up. Oh, here's the drive. It's a 10 yard catch. It's a 5. They're down to the 2 yard line. Oh, he stuffed at the goal line. It's 4th and goal. We're gonna go for a touchdown. You know,
right.
you see that whole thing build up into a crescendo, and you get the touchdown. Whereas a quick play game or a highlight game, you roll touchdown,
Yeah.
and you
Right.
don't know how that happened. But
Right.
you saw the 80-yard
Right.
drive and getting
You
4th
didn't
and
see
goal.
the 4th down and 1 they had to convert,
Yeah.
and the
So you
3rd down and 10 where the receiver got it just by the nose of the football. You don't get those moments when you're playing the quick play. And yeah, I
Yep.
understand that.
Because everything,'s a highlight. So you see in the highlights, you don't get the boring stuff, which makes the highlights that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Um, of course, we're awesome. He knows it. He knows we're number one. Without Kirk, I'm not paying inside pitch, and without Dave, I don't get to see the best hockey. There you go. We all kind of it's reciprocal, right? I mean, I turned Robert on to inside pitch. He's turned on inside pitch onto 10 other people now because he plays it all the time on his channel. Dave does his hockey thing, and he's inspired me to do things, get into playing the APA hockey. And, I think he even inspired Phoenix Knight to play the APA hockey. So everything we do, we kind of, as a community, we all help one another. We
Well,
go,
it's fun when you jump on YouTube at any particular time, day, night, afternoon, whatever, and someone's playing a game, and you're like, "Oh man, I haven't played that in so long. I get the itch now to play that," and that's what
mm,
makes it fun. Is someone will pull out, whatever game it's hockey, baseball, football, whatever, and like, I haven't played that in a while. I need to pull that out and play it. Al pulls out the play golf game. It's like, oh, I should pull that out and play a few holes because that's fun. And then someone else pulls out APA, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't played APA in a month. I need to pull that out. So, um,
yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's what I like is
I
to
was
see.
just thinking is we were both there the night that Al decided to jump on the APA. And as soon as he did, it was like me and Dave were like, I
Hmm.
need to go play. I need to go play. And I
I
think
do.
you
I
went
was
and
playing
played
it.
that night.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
playing.
right.
He was playing his first game here, and I had my cards out, and I'm playing on the table too. And it was fun watching him make the same mistakes that I did. And I
Right.
still do for that. That you roll the dice, it's like, oh, it's a 13, it's a strikeout. Well, no. I got to read the card. The dice is not, and I did that so many times too. It's like I forget to go to the card, and then I forget to go to the chart. So it's just you go to the
Yes.
card to get the number. So sometimes it just takes a while to get used to the flow of that.
It's great though when you watch somebody brings back these memories and you're like, oh, I gotta play that game. I gotta play that
Mm,
game. And yeah, that's why it's so much fun doing this. And so much fun just sitting talking about it too.
yeah, yeah.
So everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We just wanted to catch up and do a little live stream and just to see where everyone was at, just to say hi for the holidays. And, a couple weeks, everyone will be really busy. And I don't know if we'll get a chance to get together, but I wanted to say hi to everyone and just take a deep breath and see how everyone was doing and see how Dave was doing. And Ron, how's Ron doing? Is he doing okay? And
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Ron's doing okay. We talk all the time, obviously, and we're trying to set up a time to record our next show. And he's got some things going on. I had some appointments today, so we're trying to juggle that and to make that happen. But
right, you're
yeah,
up
we're
to like
always
220 episodes now.
207, I think, because we just did
207?
Maine. I
Okay.
think Maine was two. We're doing area codes now.
Right, right. I was at Seattle was the last, I think that was like 206 or something.
Yeah, yeah. I think 207 was the hockey author there. So that was the main one. So we'll see what 208's going to be. But
Right. That'd be awesome. Jeffrey, thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. Joel, thank you so much. We just wanted to spend a little bit of time just talking sports, just talking um just catching up on what we've been playing, what interests are. Um just to
do
say
you
hi.
think? Let me ask you a question. So you guys know that I've been designing these cards for Hockey Blast and printing them out and cutting them up, and it's been fun replacing the old look cards, right? And I'm having a fun time doing this, and to a point where I don't think I've really played a game in a couple of days because I've just been in. I'm enjoying the process. I like designing, and I like seeing how the cards look, and then swap the colors around. Oh, this looks good for Detroit, and this looks good for New York, and then printing them out and taking a look at this and saying, "Wow, that looks
Mhm.
amazing! I can't wait to
Mhm.
cut them and play." So, do you ever like whether you're putting away cards or you're printing them or you're carting them? Do you ever find like that that's kind of enjoyable too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love my art projects. I did a build my own Stratomatic hockey card flipper thing because I didn't like the individually flipping the cards, and I love doing that stuff. I absolutely, um, building my little projects for all kinds of different games and stuff. I know we worked on several projects together with creating APA sheets, so we didn't have to use the APA books, and a golf sheet that we were using to keep track of our golf when we were doing the APA golf together. And so I love doing things that it's as you say, it's relaxing. It's it's
Yeah.
it's downtime where I can just let my mind go and just create my own little project. I love creating these little cards like that. I would have so much fun like you.
Mm. Yeah, that program I got, I think that's the one that Al Wilson uses for his Fast Drive Football. And there's a 3-pack of it. I think it's a designer, a publisher, and a photo pack. It was like a little. I think it was like a little over $100. I got them on sale for all
Oh,
three. And
okay.
the publisher. Okay, now I used to use Excel for all my score sheets. The publisher, what it does is I can create a score sheet in like 5 minutes because it allows you to make tables, right? But the tables are not locked in to the cells like they are in Excel. So, like, if
Oh,
you want to put a scoreboard at the top, right? And now you have the team, which is longer. Then you have the periods and the final score, right? But then underneath it, you want the timing. That's going to be locked in to the cells above in Excel, right? Because everything's
right. Oh
locked in.
yeah.
So if I were to stretch out this, it's going to stretch out this. This publisher, I can put a table at the top for the score. I can put a table for the time. I can put a table for the assists and everything. I can put a table over here for this, and they're all separate. And if I stretch or move
Individual.
anything, it's only that table that gets moved. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I am creating like the Hockey Blast Express. I said, okay, this is what I want for a score sheet. Boom, 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 and in 5 minutes I had a brand new score sheet, and it works fantastic. And I wasn't in Excel like, well, I need to split this cell and merge this cell, and I want to make this bigger, but now it's making this bigger, and that's and I love Excel, but this here, the ability to put tables and cells all separate from each other is beautiful.
Oh, I'm gonna
Beautiful.
have to look at that then because I spend hundreds of hours in Excel just moving, and then oh god, now I gotta realign all this stuff, and when I move one thing and I make it
Hmm.
wider, then it makes no I
Yeah,
cannot.
yeah. The only thing I don't think you can do is put the formulas in. I don't know if you can or not. That's the thing with Excel. It's got
Mm,
the formulas are kind of great for
right.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
Excel is Excel. So it really does. But if you just want a PDF score sheet and to have something on your table, boy, I tell you, this Affinity Publisher thing. Oof.
Yeah. We spend more time prepping to play, and it's the fun part also. Jeffrey, he agrees
Yep,
with us. Yeah.
yep. I
I don't
think you
mind
can do.
that prepping stuff. I don't getting things ready and creating my own little sheets and I've even done few things where taking screenshots of the cards and stuff so I can put them on the screen
Yeah,
for doing that so people can see it a little bit easier.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad we got a chance to talk and
Hmm.
catch up and find out how you're doing and just just chat and say hi and find out what I'm what I've been doing, what have you been doing, and see how
Yeah,
everyone is doing. So
yeah.
it's good to
I
see.
like to say the chat with the community is kind of fun and see what everybody's playing and get everybody's
Yeah, just
opinion
to
and
hear from everyone and say hi and just see who's around and it's great to catch up with everyone. So we're gonna go ahead and call in an episode. We've been going for geez, almost 2 hours already. I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't keep you that up too
no,
late.
no, we're good. That's why we started a little earlier tonight.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
fine.
I'm glad we got to do this. I really do. So, replay gamer. I need to actually get a chat with the replay gamer. I've been meaning to get with him about getting him on sometime and chatting up with him. He's got a lot of interesting thoughts and ideas about design and what he does on his channel. And I love how he's like me. He starts a project and then like disappears because he started another project. I've got 37 different projects this year.
And we all do. We all do. It's just that's what we do. We bounce around. We see someone playing a game. Now I want to play Apple. We see, now I want to play payoff pitch. And now I want to play hockey, and then you get a new game that comes out, something, and so we enjoy that.
Yeah. He's got some interesting house rules with this APA where he takes some of the master symbols and changes the ratings on the batters or the pitcher grade sometimes. So it's interesting how he came up with that and like to really pick his brain and figure some of this stuff out.
He has some really shady guests on his channel, though.
He does.
He does. Did you see the one with this guy? We'll just call him Tebow.
Yeah.
That Tebow guy.
Somehow Tebow and Replay Gamer have hooked up, and it's kind of like having the Joker and the Penguin together.
Which one would be the Joker? Which one would be the Penguin?
I don't know. We'll have to think about that one. That's for sure. But thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We do so much appreciate it. Don't forget, hit that little like button. I hear it's broken. You might want to hit it once just to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. We'll be hopefully get some more people on sometime and get some more live streams going, more interaction with you guys, and just to let you know what's going on. So, Dave, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Hope all is well. Hope you have a great holidays in case I don't get the chance to talk with you before that.
It's coming up. It's coming up really
I know
quick.
It's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Well, today's the 13th, so
no,
what are we at? 12 days.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah, 12 days.
Wow, 2 weeks from yesterday already. Oh my God, it's going to be here before you know it. And I've got stuff I need to. I got to get busy. Stop ordering stuff for me and start ordering stuff for somebody else.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We'll see y'all later. Until then, my friends, take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all down the line. Bye for now.